going to be your Thirsty Thursday reading for Thursday, May 30th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. So, Thirsty Thursdays, if you guys are new to my channel, you don't know what Thirsty Thursdays are. This is basically a love energy reading, like a grand, I'll try to say general and grand. So, like a general grand spread of love, okay? Whatever needs to come out, wants to come out for the collective, regardless of your relationship status. This is kind of just like an open collective mind energy reading, so it's not based off of anything like a specific question for singles, for soulmates or twin flames or separate. It's just a general energy of whatever wants to come out. Whoever's meant to take something from this reading, whether it's a portion of the reading, a whole aspect of the reading, or not at all. I hope that you use your discernment with this reading and you feel the energies and what's pertaining to you. You'll know it within yourself what's for you and what is not for you, and leave what is not for you to the side and just take whatever you were meant to take out of this reading, if anything at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this energy reading. Let's tap into what it is the spirit wants to say, the Most High God, our ancestors, the spiritual guardians of this universe who come with light and truth, who also are here to bring anything to our attention that needs to be brought to our attention. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. Let this reading be divinely protected. What is the overall energy of this reading for the collective? What is the love energy that surround us today and that will affect us today, and maybe may take a lingering effect on us 2 days ahead as well, because some of these energies will spill over into the days ahead. It's not just for, even though it's a daily reading, some things can unfold within a day into the next day and so on and so forth. So let's see. What's the business? Okay. Sense of control, calm meditation, and seeing God. Okay, so these are the overall messages and energies. It's kind of hard to get this in focus as usual. I try to get it to where you guys can see it. So all right, some of you guys are taking yourself out of the equation of your relationships, and you're going within. You're seeking clarity within yourself. You're seeking clarity through your divine assistance. So it could be angels, guides, God, the universe, whatever it is, because you guys seeing God. So in calm meditation, you're taking back your desire or the need to control, because it's kind of like you're at this point where you feel like you have no control, or you feel like I can no longer do this on my own. I need some sort of divine assistance, divine help. So that's where you're at. That's where you're at with this energy. You have Yield, which is the Hangman card with Miss Kali, which plays no games. She's not playing no games. So I feel like this is deaf to whatever type of sense of control, the desire, the ego's desire to control certain things and certain aspects, and when it comes to your love life, okay? When it comes to maybe a specific relationship or connection, it's like maybe all areas of your life. It's like, I have no control over this. If this is not where you're at, then I'm pretty sure this is where, if you're dealing with someone, this is where they're at. Or it could be you are also in this. It's an environment thing. So people in your environment, maybe once that you may be allowed to control or dictate your life, or maybe someone that you're involved with, maybe they are an environment, or all of the above. That energy of control and manipulation and trying to maneuver and direct things in your own way, and excluding that divinity, that divine aspect of you, which includes your spiritual team, that higher intelligence within yourself, taking that out of the equation, only using or trying to master things with your lower self, your ego, your own agendas, your codependencies, your fears, your insecurities, your doubts, your obsessions, you know, all these different energies, whatever stands out to you, those significant keywords, this is being removed out of the way. And because you've decided that I'm going to like spend some time within, reflecting upon these things that need to go, that need to die. You know, Kali, she's a goddess of destruction, but she's not a goddess of destruction. They depict her in such a negative light of being this evil goddess and destroying. She represents the destruction of things that are not serving us. In essence, symbolically represents destroying certain things that need to be destroyed. She will come into your life and remove the very things that do not serve you, and the very people that do not deserve you. Or I guess I try to say deserve and serve at the same time, but same thing, right? So this is causing you to see the divinity within your higher self. There's enlightenment with this process. You see their crown chakra is enlightened with this yellowish energy. And then also this person sitting here, she has this halo, or he, whatever, has this halo of yellow light. It's that enlightenment, that truth, and that spark of that I amness, that divinity within the self that allows God to take over. Whether you believe that you are God, whether you believe in the universe is God, or whatever, that divinity comes through, that higher vibrational energy, that ancient energy, that higher intelligence that knows all, that sees all. You allow that energy to guide you, or you allow it to come through and give you that clarity that you need, or to consult and speak with it and not try to do everything by yourself. Sometimes this will be God working through people in your life and speaking to you and coming to you. God can come in the most unlikely form, so don't forget that. But God may come to you from somebody that is a stranger, someone that looks like, you know, they don't know nothing, or a homeless person. You know, we look at the outside of things and we are ignorant and believe that someone who's sipping on lean or something, or you know, a pothead cannot be spiritual, or you know, a girl with some booty shorts on cannot be spiritually in tune. We look at certain people or people's skin tone and think, or because they come from the ghetto or the hood, we automatically think they don't know anything, or they're not spiritually in tune if they're not, you know, meditating in yoga classes, or you know, these types of things. So it's like, be very mindful that spirit will speak to those whom get your attention the most. And sometimes spirit will speak to the people that could be the most rudest or mean to you, but whatever purpose they need to serve, whatever they need to trigger within you, spirit's going to work through these people. And sometimes negative spirits, of course, work through certain people as well, but they're ignorant because they're still serving you at the end of the day. So you have the Magician, which is the power card, Harmony, which is the temperance card. So there's power in being, he's in meditation. The Magician is going within. It's that as above, so below. So we have to remind ourselves that whatever is within the self is going to reflect in the outer world. So we have to be very mindful of the things that are within ourselves, what we feel, what we think, what we're saying, what we're doing internally, how we treat ourselves internally, how we treat others internally, because that energy will manifest itself outwardly. But this is the point where you're most powerful, when you're in this state of meditation, because that's where everything is. That universe is within the self first, and that's where you'll be able to hear God and hear your angels, your ancestors, the guardians of the universe. That's where you'll be able to hear that. But then you also have Harmony. So this is needing to balance yourself out. It's like this feminine and masculine principle with the Magician and the Temperance card. It's an energy of alchemy and balance within. So it could be fine-tuning your energies, where you may be feeling like, I'm losing a sense of control, I have no control. And then it's like balancing that energy out, that knows that you can trust, that you're safe, that you are loved. There's also this green energy surrounding the Temperance card. It's the heart chakra. So maybe this is balancing out your emotions, your feelings towards a situation, or where you're at with love. For some of you, releasing certain connections that no longer serve you. Also being able to release the things that don't serve you, so that you are able to manifest this divine soul connection, whether it be with someone that you're dealing with, or someone you wanted to be with, or simply completely, and that's part of the losing control, is not being overly attached to something or someone, or how the way that something has to be, and being open to divine timing, divine orchestration, a divine hand and divine order of things. That's a part of releasing the ego as well. So let's see, success, which is the sun card in this deck. And you have the Empress, which is the fertility card in this deck. So this is a major arcana card deck only, but I will clarify with the tarot deck. Um, this is definitely divine feminine energy, but it can also represent that aspect of ourselves, that nurturing aspect of us, taking care of ourselves and taking care of our needs, being very mindful of the energy exchanges that we have with other people, being respectful in creating those boundaries for ourselves, those healthy boundaries of how much we're giving and how much we're receiving, how much we're taking care of ourselves. Because sometimes we can overindulge with being all about us, so we start to forget everybody else around us. And sometimes we can be overly all about everybody else, and we forget about our own selves. So you have the success card, again, which is the sun. So I feel that this energy is fairly positive, and it is, period. I feel like this energy, nothing about this is negative. It's just kind of like there's always work to do, and there's always things we can learn about ourselves. There's always going to be ups and downs or challenges, but these things lead to the positive outcomes. And I'm seeing that solar energy with the Kali card and the success card as well. It's got this halo of light, just like these two cards here. So there's a lot of enlightenment that you're going to see, and you're going to start to see things in a positive perspective when you start to trust in that infinite universal energy, that divine energy, that I amness within the self, that knowing that your ancestors and your guides or your angels, whatever you want to call it, has your back, and the people around you that are of high vibrational light energy, those people that are also in tune with themselves and a higher being, and also walking in that energy, is also a service and help to you. And you're going to start to see the success or the positive movements within these energies. Basically, you're going to see something is going to be given birth to out of this energy, whether it happens Thursday, today, or it starts to unfold. But surely you're going to see positive results start to unfold when you start to trust more, when you go within more, when you start listening to yourself more, that inner compass and that inner guidance within you, when you start to pay attention to what God or the angels, the universe, whatever that high being that you connect with is showing you. You're going to see these positive things take place and unfold, especially when you destroy and allow what does not need to be here be destroyed, and not fearing what other people think about you. When you start cutting people off, or you start just detaching from people that don't serve you or things that don't serve you, yeah, it might cause some people to talk about you, or it might cause people to feel some type of way. But what matters is I'm going within, and I'm finding this new inner peace within myself, and this strength to start to lean on my own inner knowing and inner understanding. And I'm starting to find harmony, and I'm starting to find balance within this process. Although it does take time, I'm learning that. I'm starting to see these beautiful things take place. For a lot of you guys, this is you allowing yourself to be free to the point where you may have been holding yourself back from being the person that you're meant to be, whether that be, shying away from your good looks because you don't want people to think some type of way about you, holding back from being a model or something. Because I'm seeing like beauty and fashion. For others of you, traveling and doing what you want to do. Maybe people are judging you, saying, oh, you need to stay at home with your kids, or you have no business doing that, you're too young to travel, or it's not safe to travel on your own, or just all these little stagnating things. Even if it's coming from yourself or some sort of outside negative energies or people around you, this is, you're freeing yourself out of this energy. Even though the full card is not here, I still feel with the Magician and the Empress is like, I do what the fuck I want to do. And not in a negative, like, you know, smart. In a way, yeah, like, for real, like, I do what I want to do. This is my journey, this is my life, and you can't dictate me anymore. I know my worth and I know my value. And it could also be a person telling you that you're never going to find nobody better than them. And some of you guys are like, should I let it go? Should I not let it go? Some of you guys, this is a time where you're letting go of exes. These cards flew out of the deck. You got the Knight of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So this is like your cutoff game is going to be a game changer. When you start to cut off those negative thoughts, the things that you say, or the naysayers, the haters, when you start to just cut people out of your life that, you know, you've surpassed certain connections and things and people, when you start to do that, you're going to see a major shift take place in your life. There's no looking back after this. For some of you guys, like, these people can be keeping you from a person. They could, or these energies, these thoughts around you and within you could be the very things that is keeping you from this divine connection, this fated connection or union, whether it be with who you think it's going to be with, or someone completely ordained for you, period. Whoever's ordained for you, let's just put it that way, regardless of if it's someone that you perceive to be it, or you don't know, or whatever. And that's a part of the losing control. That person that's ordained for you, it's going to happen. And when you think of the Devil card, and this is one thing that I got to get out of the way. When we see the Devil card, even though it's not here, but this just came to me, because some people think that, you know, you are some sort, like, you're working against them when you tell them to not hang on to someone or anything, regardless of what it looks like. Because the truth is that we come to this universe and this planet owning nothing. Nothing in this planet or this universe we own. Because when we leave out of here, even the flesh that we walk in, we don't even own. We only own it for a time being. It's not even ours. When we leave out of here, that flesh stays here. The cars, the money, all of that stays here. We don't take that with us. So when we think that we can own another person and we are attached to someone, that is not unconditional love. That's like the Devil card. That's being obsessed. That's being restricted to our lower selves. We don't respect a person enough to allow them to be free and to live their life. Of course, mingle with each other and our energies, you know, combine, and we love each other, we live together, we walk our paths together, but at the end of the day, we're still separate individuals. So when people get all upset and offensive when you say that it's a possibility that someone is not who spirit joined you to share your journey with, they automatically think that you're working against them, or there's something wrong, or you're doing this, or you're deceptive. In some way, yes, people will try to rip you away from something that God has ordained, but what you got to remember is of what's meant for you, no one can take away. What God has ordained, what Spirit has ordained, the universe, whatever is meant for you, that vibrational match energy, it can't be taken from you. So it doesn't matter. But to be attached, even those that know about law of attraction and how this universe and vibrational energies work will tell you not to be attached to anything. To say, yeah, I want this Maserati. If it's meant for me to have this Maserati in this exact color, this model, blah, 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 then it will be mine. And I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to get it, where the money's going to come from to get it, how soon I'm going to get it, if it's going to be this exact car or not. But I put my request into the universe and I let it go and I let it be what it is. So it's like the Devil card is not, it's kind of like the lower aspect of the Lovers. The Lovers card is they're unchained. They're free in that garden. They have the choice to make between their flesh and their higher self. They also have the backing of a higher being and higher spiritual guide to guide them in that energy. When you're in that Devil energy, you're trapped, you're chained down, and you have this entity that's keeping you trapped. So if something is not serving you and it's not of your highest good, and you're staying in that, that's something that is not of your highest good, and you know that. I just had to put that out there. So you are not to be attached to anything if it's not for you, it's not for you. And what is for you, even if you have to let it go out of self-love and self-boundaries, and sometimes that's what it is. And I'm not just speaking of romance, I'm speaking of friendships, family. Sometimes you got to cut people off if it's not of your highest good. And that goes with thinking, and that goes with certain negative emotions. You got the Five of Cups here too, so that goes along with holding on to, oh, what so and so did to me, and this person, you know, this sob story that we carrying on and holding on to that energy. That's got to go too, because some of you guys may be caught up on the fact that someone backstabbed you with this is the Page of Swords. So it could be someone, you know, people that have said things to you that were very hurtful. The Emperor card. This could be someone that you considered the love of your life, or this could be a very significant person. This could be a bossy individual, someone that dictates everything and tells you what to do. Or this could have been an abusive relationship or abusive partner that hurt you really badly, and you still have not released this energy. You're still holding on to it. And it can also be a narcissistic parent too, that has dictated your life completely, and also has warped your perception of love and relationships, and has held you back. But no longer, with the Kali card, she represents the Hangman. You have to step out of that normal form that you've been accustomed to, or what people perceive as normal, or what all you've known to be, and change your perception of your reality. And that takes courage. That takes releasing and cutting the cords that don't serve you, because there is a divine connection for you. I see that with the Temperance card, the Empress card, you know. For those of you looking for divine feminine energies, they're all around you, but there's one that will match you the most out of those, or it could be a few, depending on what your life's journey and purpose represents. So I do see that, especially with the Wheel of Fortune too, that represents divine, you know, divinity, you know, fated unions and fated meetings. And fate doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be towards, you know, the end or until the end of your lifetime. It could just represent something that was meant to happen. It needed to happen at a certain time. Okay, so let's see. For those of you who may have someone on your mind, let's see what Spirit has to say about these situations, whether it hits directly what you, and I'm just going to say release the need for something to come out the way that you expect it to be. Leave it open. Whatever Spirit wants to say, for those who have questions or have people on their mind. These cards flipped upward. Rebirth, Lamp of Knowledge, and Spark of Splendor. Okay. So, sure. Let's see. Rebirth. So, as you change and as you grow, as you progress, it could also be that this person you're asking about has gone through a transformation as well within themselves. But I see this person, I see a lot of union energy for a lot of you, because there's a lot of couples holding each other and hugging each other and embracing each other in the crowd. So as you go through this rebirthing stage, there will be some sort of unions, some sort of coming togethers, whether it be with the person you're asking about, or the person, if it not be the person you're thinking about, whoever's meant for you, basically. These divine connections that are divinely orchestrated will come together. The Lamp of Knowledge. So it could be that both of you guys are going through a process of awakening, or you've already, you could be currently, because this is like in the middle. So this could be present energy. Maybe you guys did come together, maybe for a short time, or maybe this could be people saying farewell to, you know, get their men prepared to go to battle. Because there's some people crying, there's people sad. So it could be like, what appeared to be a death or an ending is actually a rebirth, because what it's leading to and what it has led to is awakening and enlightenment on all aspects. Okay? And I feel like these are people learning the lessons that they need to learn individually, and maybe about love and relationships. So As you do this individually with this third energy here by himself, there's this couple that's sharing this light and this wisdom. So I feel like this represents you and your true divine counterpart. You know, you're never separate. You see how those vibrational energies match? So I'm saying this, I'm speaking to the true divine counterpart. I'm not, you know, I'm not specifically speaking of who you're thinking about unless that's who it is. I'm speaking to divine energy. So not on expectations or anything, perceived, unless it is what it is. But like I said, I'm speaking to what's going on in the connection that you actually have a true divine connection with. So I hope that makes sense. Like, you could be thinking about a person and it could be that they are that or they're not, but I'm not really speaking for anything specifically. I'm speaking, well, I am speaking specifically. Let me rephrase that. I hope this makes sense. So you could be thinking about Matt or Sarah, right? And spirit may be tapping into your true divine counterpart that you have not even met yet. You haven't even encountered them, but you're still under the impression that Matt or Sarah is it, or you would like to think that they're it, or you hope that they're it, or you're obsessed with this person, so that's where your focus is. But spirit's tapping into the energy of the true essence. That's my intent. It's not so much to tap into who you're thinking about unless it resonates and it makes sense, because I'm not here to sell people a dream. Because what happens is when you watch readings and you're thinking about a specific person, you're being misled into thinking that that person is meant for you. But sometimes it does resonate, and sometimes people just want it to resonate, so they will force it to resonate because it feels good and it appeases their ego. So I'm just kind of, trying to clarify that. So yeah, these counterparts, they're never separated because they're going through this awakening process, and it's like individually this represents that one body, that one aspect, that individual that's going through this awakening. But as you go through your awakening and they go through their awakening, whatever they're learning, because we go through many awakenings and evolution processes and rebirths and transformations. So as you guys go through that individually, you're actually going through this together as one body, if that makes sense. And this is the higher power, the divine being. So this is where you guys are right now. Spark of splendor. This is rejoicing. This is being proud of yourself as you've mastered this transformation and you've come out of it. There's going to be a lot of beautiful things that are taking place for you between you and your counterpart, or this could be one of the counterparts watching the other one shine and thrive, but this is happiness for the other person. Like, I'm happy I see them, they've mastered this. So you got the Wheel of Fortune, anger, which is the devil, justice, which obviously is the justice card, wisdom, which is the high priestess, and karma, which is the judgment card. So overall energy that this is a fortunate situation. Again, you got the Wheel of Fortune twice, but in a different deck. So, the destinated path is aligned. If you've been going through the bottom pits of a situation, it's going to go in your favor. Regardless of how it happens, just know that it's going to work out. How and when and where and who is not of your concern, at least. With the devil card, which is the anger card, your challenge is not getting caught up in being angry or being caught up in your ego, being caught up in obsessions and codependencies, stalkerish behavior, blame game, those lower vibrational energies that overrule a person. Not being caught up in that and feeling like, woe is me, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, obsessing over, is this person coming back? Are they the one? Are they my twin flame? Are they my soulmate? Like, we've evolved out of that, hopefully. Hopefully nobody on here watching this is stuck on that energy. If you are, hopefully this is a pattern that you're going to break, because what it's doing is it keeps you stagnant and it keeps you stuck. And you got the justice card over here as your suggested approach. So spirit is telling you that you do have to compromise. There is a need to compromise something. I will say for some of you, you guys are dealing with an energy where there is unfinished karma. I don't like using karmic partners and all of that stuff. You know, it helps to identify something. I get it. But there, you may be dealing with a situation where you are dealing with someone that you still have karma with, that you have not resolved that karma, whether this is the person that your divine counterpart's energy, or you're dealing with the person that is karmic in nature to your understanding of what karmic partners are. You could be dealing with that, or they could be dealing with it. But nonetheless, there's a need to make a compromise, because yes, someone could be in a relationship and it's not your concern as to when or where or how it's going to end. And it's not, if someone is doing this with you where they're telling you you need to leave him or you need to leave her, or when is this going to happen, that's not their concern either, because if there's still karma that needs to play out, it needs to play out. And I know people hate to hear that, but it's like telling a child they don't need to go to school anymore because, you know, you've only been in first grade. But it's like, get out of school, you don't need to learn any more lessons, like you're cool, like you're good now. And then your child's walking around with first grade knowledge all of their life. So it's like, if this is something that you need to learn, or they need to learn with other counterparts or connections or friendships or family, you kind of got to let them go through it on their own. And same for you, if that's your case where you're at, this needs to happen. You need to allow that time for it to happen. And Spirit's telling you to pay attention to your intuition, um, not your ego. Don't get too overly caught up in the ego and the obsession, because the ego is like, it worries a lot, it questions a lot, it doubts a lot. It's heavily attached. It's a feeling of anxiousness and anxieties and fears. When you're in your higher self and your inner knowing and your truth, it's just a knowing, and it's all you need to know, and you leave it alone. You're not obsessing over, you're not trying to get a person to understand it, you're not trying to convince people to get it, or you're not trying to convince another person to understand where you're coming from. You're not force feeding this person to um, see something that they may not see, or you think they don't see it, or they don't get it yet, or you know, oh, you just don't get it, you know, we're meant to be together. And that's borderline obsessive and very manipulative. It's not even borderline, it is, because that's this card, like someone's muscling your arm, or you're muscling somebody else. Like, you, this woman is, she like, I Turner gripped, like literally. Like, you could be in an abusive relationship and this person is trying to convince you that you're meant to be together, you need to stay with them. Or someone could be in a relationship where someone is obsessed with them and refuses to let them go. And a lot of you, this is energetically, like some of you guys have spirit ties to people, maybe that you actually been with these people and slept with them or whatever, you dated them, or these are people that have feelings for you, you know, obsessions or crushes, forged connections, I should say, forged soul ties, or past karmic connections, that you got to release those energies. And it's not to fear, but I feel like for some of you, you guys are dealing with these people that are trying to keep you stuck. And I feel like if you guys are advanced in your spiritual knowledge within yourself and spiritual energies and vibrations, you know when you're dealing with these types of energies where people are trying to manipulate you and trying to control you and are obsessed with you, trying to force their reality onto yours. You can tell by that. And for some people, like nowadays, it's not really that much of a taboo. But some people may be literally dealing with people that are good at um, telepathy and mind tricks and mind magic and physical magic and spells and witchcraft and all that stuff. And you can sense that. Some of you guys, you're fearing this. And I'm telling you right now, if you're in that state of fear, you're giving it to this person. You're giving them that power because it's not real. If you're in a situation where you're with an abusive partner, or, you know, God forbid, the person that you're with um, is abusive, or they are in an abusive situation, if it's a third party connection that you got going on where you are involved with somebody that may have someone else or something, if this is an abusive relationship, I'm not a counselor per se. This is for entertainment purposes only, and I have to say that. Um, but I would advise like to get help if that's the case. I hope that's not the case because this is a very tough situation and this man is obviously abusive and I can't ignore that energy. It's there. So I hope that you guys free yourself and some of you guys, you can be the person that's trying to forge connections with people that you have no business trying to do that with. And um, it's like a toxic cycle that needs to be broken. Um, some of you guys do have knowledge and wisdom of what needs to take place and what's being done. Nothing is being hidden from you. So don't think that something is going under the radar that I don't know what to do, or how should I handle it, or is this and that. Like, the knowledge and wisdom is there. Just like in the first spread, that you have to go within and connect to that divine source to get this clarity. Because there is some unfinished business and karmic energy here that needs to be cleansed out. And maybe you are cleansing it out, because I feel like Lakshmi with the Wheel of Fortune card is saying that these things, everything is going to turn out to work out in the best way that it's meant to, and the best for everybody involved. And if you guys are holding on to someone obsessively, let it go, because that's stagnating your energy. Whether that person may be the one for you or not, it's like, let that energy go. I'm telling you, the obsessive energy, this is in the challenge position. You have to let it go. And if some of you guys are angry at the person that you're with because you feel like, they're doing something that you don't like, let that energy of anger go and heal through forgiveness, forgiving yourself, because it's holding you back with the things that you're manifesting outside of this situation. Outside of love and relationships, you are manifesting. You got some things that you got to bring to life, that you are to give birth to. This is finances is popping off, business is popping off, opportunities for yourself, a new you is coming forth. And it's like, this stuff is holding you down, and it's holding you back, and it's holding you bound and hostage. I can't say that enough, because when you're in this energy, you're still going through your enlightening process, and that comes with healing. That comes with maybe healing other people, if it be that that's what God is calling you to do, or the universe is calling you to help other people to heal. The person that's your true counterpart is also healing as well. They're also going through their awakening process, and it's like, when you work on yourself, they're working on them too, and that's helpful to the connection. So it's like, if you're hanging on to things that are holding your ship from moving forward, it's like that the little rope that holds the boat. If you're trying to sail ship, like you're trying to get your ship to move forward, but you got this rope still stuck, you got things that you're still holding on to, things that are holding you back and holding you down, even if it's the very person that you love very dearly, and this person is not doing anything to change themselves, they're holding you back, they're negative, your friends or your family, like, you have to cut the cord with that. Like, this is my personal journey. Yes, I love you and all, but I had to love myself more. And if it's meant for us to come back together, if it's meant for us to still be friends, you're my family, you're still my blood at the end of the day. But if you're unhealthy, you're unhealthy, you're toxic for me, and there's so much that awaits you. And it's a part of the human experience. Like, our human selves, of course, we have feelings, we have emotions, but our higher selves, we know we got work to do, and we can't stay stuck and stagnant. um I'm the unpopular opinion reader. I'm not about all this these connections that are force fed to us to believe that they're the end all be all, and you gotta stick it out, and oh, this is this sign and this synchronicity means this. That will get you caught up. And this isn't coming from somebody that has not gone through that whole thing, and maybe still going through the whole journey of it itself. But I've reached a point where I've learned that it's about me more than it's about anything or anybody else. And that everybody that came into my journey, the people that I loved and cared about and still love and care about, but I'm not attached like I once was to that. I'm not attached to an outcome with that. The people that may have came into my life that treated me very badly, that they were also very important parts and players in my journey as well. And the people that you know, are still helping me. All of this is helpful to the journey, but I've learned so much more about me and my connectedness, and I'm still learning. That's what the most important thing is, and what it teaches you about yourself, and what it teaches you about love, and how to heal and surpass these human ideologies of what love is, and the toxicity and the obsessive energies. So I'm not here to appease anybody's ego. Like, I'm the unpopular opinion reader. Like, I'm not here to appease your ego. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear, which the most popular thing to hear is that, oh, this is your twin flame, and they're gonna come back and they're gonna marry you, and they can't stand their karmics, and all this little immature stuff. And it's not to say that it can't be real and that's not true, but at the end of the day, it's like, let's get to work. Okay, what does that do for me? Like, cool, he might be obsessed with me. Oh, okay, like, feeling myself, but what is he doing? I hope he's healing, or she. I hope they're healing. I hope they're getting their life together. I hope that they find peace within themselves, because I'm doing me, and I hope they're doing the same. And if it's meant to be together, we're meant to be, let's make some moves. Let's make some things happen. Let's get it popping. But if you're not it, I'm on to the next. And if that's what spirit brings me to, a person that's really meant for me, but I'm not going to obsess over someone that isn't really doing much, or they're going through their own process. If they're going through their own process, all the respect to you. I'm going through my own process too. And when it's meant to be, it'll be to, but I'm not going to sit here and obsess over, because I feel like, no disrespect to any other messages out there, messengers, um, I just don't feel like that is helpful, to just hear about that all the time. Like, it's cool. It's need to know sometimes. You want to know what's up, what's going on, how do they feel? Cool. But at the same time, it's, what can I do for myself? And I pick up a lot of love energy readings all the time. That's my thing. Oshun energy over here. That's just what it is. I talk about love. But in a way that teaches us self-love, and how to love others, and how to maneuver through these energies, and how to take these love relationships and how to make it work for you. But also, of course, there will be things and messages about love, because I do believe that in this energy there is a divine counterpart. It's here, it's in the cards, it's there. It just may be some little loopholes and some things that you are not seeing, or you don't know about, or it's not time for you to see, or you just kind of have to surrender and allow things to be what it's meant to be. But I do see that here, that for some of you, you guys are bending over backwards for people. And I'm not just speaking of romantic energies, but I do see a lot of fortune and a lot of positive energy with the Ten of Pentacles, especially. Um, and you're working towards that. It does require, some work still with the Seven of Pentacles, and it's kind of like patience energy. So you kind of have to have patience in the process of your love life and your life in general, because for some of you, your finances and career are connected to your divine counterpart energies. Because some of you guys may be having business, you guys may even work together, maybe, or you may capitalize off of your experiences, whether you write books for people, love novels, whatever you decide to do, music, movies, off of your experiences in love, or poems, jewelry, readings. This is part of it. Or it could be inheritance with the Ten of Pentacles. That's also an inheritance card. So it could be that deep. But I do see some third party energies here, though. I'm not going to lie. I do see like another relationship involved. Um, and I feel like it's a choice of how you see certain things and how much energy you give to that. Because I'm one of those people that feel like it's not that important to give all of your energy away to quote unquote karmic partners. Like for real, like why would you focus so much on that? All it's gonna do is make you mad. It's gonna like it gets you in that pettiness state of mind, like, oh, I'm better than her, or I'm better than him. Oh, she ain't even all that cute, or oh, she's cuter than me. And maybe that's why, like, it puts you in these lower vibrational energies. You start demonizing another person, and oh, my poor divine masculine, my poor divine feminine, like all these lower base energies, like that is irrelevant does not even really matter like that. Like, if that's their journey and that's the person they chose to um, go for or spend this moment in their time and journey and space with, like, it goes back to the justice card and the karmic card, the judgment card. They got to live out that karma, and that's not for you to put your energy, go toe to toe with those energies, because it doesn't really involve you so much. In a way, yeah, it does, because, like, you know how people say, like, one man's trash is one man's treasure. So it's kind of like, you know, someone made space for another person that deserves this person to be with them. So it's kind of like they are serving the connection at the same time. But that doesn't mean you give all of your energy away to the quote unquote bad guy or the quote unquote bad girl and just put all of your energy, and people get all obsessed, and it's like this new trend. Oh, they're doing witchcraft on you, and they're doing this to you, like giving all your power away to all of this pixie dust stuff. And that's not to say that magic and witchcraft is not powerful, but it's like these higher vibrational energies slay all day, every day. And these lower entities, they're not going to be here very long. So they got to feed off of things and feed off of people. And what other best way to do that is your freaking fear of it and your attention to it and giving it momentum. Um, so, and on top of that, I feel like some people like to bring that up to spook you and to have like the readings sound more interesting, to tell you somebody's doing witchcraft on you and to like get you in paranoia, maybe even get you to buy a reading. That's like the best trick in the book with some readings. Like, even it's an old school trick. Like, you know, you got to get this spiritual bath, and if you get this from me, you know, I'll help you. Like, it's kind of like, it's like, it reminds me of the guy off of Princess and the Frog. Like, it's like an illusion. Like, it's trick magic, like illusional magic tricks. Like, and half the time that's, it can be true. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm sure some people done did some spells on me, like whether it's to like ruin my life or stifle something or to get me to fall in love with them or whatever crazy shit. And I've done some things before, like out of ignorance, trying to attract people and all this dumb stuff back in the day. But what you have to realize is that what's meant for you is going to happen, and you can't really force it. And sometimes that stuff does work. And I find that magic and spells work against people who are not divinely protected, weak energies, people who are in those lower vibrational energies, to even be attacked. Because when you're of a high vibration and you're divinely protected and you have that protection around you and you're mindful of energies, it's very hard to be attacked. It's plain and simple. That's a fact. It's not easy for people to infiltrate your energy. So if you're that type of person that's spooked out by stuff like that, if you are in a lower vibrational energy, if you're someone who's negative, if you're someone who lives in fear, if you're someone who aligns with that type of stuff, it's easy for you to be a vessel, or it's easy for you to be um, attacked and have those energies attached to you and work on you or work through you in your life. Plain and simple. But I'm not speaking of that because that's not here. I feel that those obsessive people, you already got a handle on that and you know what's up. And if you're doing this to other people, I feel like this is something maybe that you are getting a handle on to work through and get out of that energy too. Like being mindful of it and changing it around. Because I'm not like a overly religious person, but I will recite some Bible scriptures because they hold power. Their words are powerful. So if you know that nothing formed against you can prosper, and no man or no woman can keep you from the one. If this person is the one for you, they're the one. If they are not, it's like deuces. Like, she or he can have you if it's not meant for that. I can still love you, but still, you know, keep my dignity and keep it moving. It's like people, I have to call it out because this is not the first time that people have hit me up about readings and said things like, oh, their karmic is doing magic tricks and spells on me, and I don't know where they're getting it from, or and sometimes they suspect it and they ask if it's happening. And it's like you can tell when you're being spiritually attacked, because we can simply do that by thinking negatively about someone. We can easily think about something negative about another person, saying something negative about a person, or wishing bad on a person, whether we mean to do it or not. And if you're conscious enough, you can sense that energy, you can feel it. Um, Also, you can tell when like people are obsessing over you, because it could be like a person that you don't like, you're not attracted to, you don't have any interest in, and they'll cross your mind a little bit too much. And it's not like you're falling in love, but you just kind of get like this feeling like, why? And then you like, wait a minute, something's not right. And it doesn't necessarily mean that this person is doing that to like intentionally try to get you or hook you. It could just be you're sensing that and you're picking it up. So it's kind of like when you first fall in love with someone and you can't stop thinking about each other and you call each other and stuff, but it's one sided and you're just like, this isn't right. That's how you know. Um, I can't really speak for the people that think that these third party people are doing things against them, but I'm gonna just call it out and I'm gonna be real. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I'm calling it out anyway. Somebody emailed me and was like, "Oh, this my twin's karmic partner, my divine masculine's karmic partner is working through readers. She's doing witchcraft, and you gotta be careful because I noticed your message was, blah blah blah." Like pretty much trying to insinuate that their quote unquote divine masculine's karmic partner was working through me through reading. So that's the bullshit I'm talking about. These energies of giving power to these weak energies, like these lower vibrational energies, are nothing. Like I used to be really scared and I had to overcome that. I had to overcome my fears, like literally like see the fears in physical form like little demons, and hear them and sense them to overcome them. These things are nothing like compared to the spirit realm. Like I've seen them in my dream, I've slayed them, I've fought them. They're nothing. Like I'm telling you, these energies, they're powerful to an extent, but that's because they feed. That's why they have to feed. They feed off of people's fears and ignorance and all of this other stuff to them. They feed off of that. So it was kind of like an insult, but at the same time, I was kind of like, it's goofy. Like it's kind of stupid to me, because when you work from a high vibrational energy and you're someone that works in light, you can see the darkness. You can walk in a dark alley and be untouched. Like, whatever you want to call it. Like, you can walk in a dark alley and thieves and gangsters won't even touch you. They might look right at you, smile, and let you be. That's kind of how you have to look at these energies. When they don't phase you, they can't touch you. So to think that you're giving this power away to this person and thinking that they can work through somebody else like a reader, and maybe in some cases that could be, but it's giving somebody way too much credit. And that's why I say it's kind of like a trick. Like this twin flame stuff, it gets the wrong people, and it kind of sucks them into this dark energy of getting obsessed and starting becoming very um, fearful and obsessed and controlling on. And they claim that their divine masculine or divine feminine is, narcissistic, or they don't get it, or their karmic partner is this. But you're playing toe to toe with them. If that's the case, you're kind of lowering yourself to that energy, if you ask me. That's not divine love to me. It's just not unconditional. All of this obsessive energy, when are they coming back? Do they love me? All that stuff is like, it's juvenile. I'm just being honest. And people ain't gonna like it. I know people are not gonna like me. And I just have to be real and I have to be honest and call it as I'm seeing it. It's like it's like childish like it's really childish. And I understand some people are on a certain level where they don't understand this and they want to know, how someone is feeling, and that's okay, that's normal. But all the time, redundantly, repetitively, obsessing over it. And I'll keep it 100. Like, I've read for some people and some situations where, there's third parties involved, and some of these people are very, like, manipulative and nasty. And some of these quote unquote karmics are implanted into your life and into another person's life, whether it's your quote unquote karmic or someone else's karmic that you're dealing with. These people sometimes are implanted to try to bring the other person's energy down. Some of them can work in a way that it's not as bad, and it's just some things that they need to learn together. But sometimes these energies are lower vibrate energies that are trying to bring the other person down, strip them of their energy, keep them dumb, keep them stupid. Some of them do know about you and may be jealous or may try to do some things. Like, if you think from a real perspective, let's put it this way, because I always say, put yourself in your quote unquote divine masculine or whatever, divine feminine shoes, and also in the karmic shoes. If you were in their position where you were married with kids, how easy is it for you to just walk away from that? Like, moralistically, when you're caught up in your morals, let's say, even in your spirituality, you could be like, yeah, this is a divine connection, but at the same time, I have kids and I love my kids. Or, some people may not see it as like it's probably best not to have your kids involved in this toxic relationship. Maybe it's best you guys do break up or get a divorce. But just put yourself in those shoes of all of those thoughts and those, the things that they may contemplate with that. Like, it's not easy. Or they may want to do it, but then they got earthly obligations. Not to say that it's an excuse, but just be humble for a moment and have compassion for a moment and put yourself in those people's position. Put yourself in the position now of the quote unquote karmic partner. So here comes this woman or this man, and they over here, you know, loving up on my person, or quote unquote, it could just seem like in their eyes, you messing around with my man or my woman and you're trying to take them from me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to act a damn fool. I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to post things about you on Facebook or all these crazy stuff I done heard, like crazy shit. Or I'm going to probably do some magic on you. If that's where they're at on their spiritual journey, where they're into magic and blue, Santa, yeah, and all this shit, then yeah, maybe they would go to that resort. So it's kind of like you gotta look at everything from all angles, and that doesn't mean you gotta like it. That doesn't mean you have to agree with it, because you might be like, if I had a family and I met you, I would leave my husband in a second. Maybe, you might be on that. Or, if I was a karmic partner and I seen that we weren't working out or we weren't meant to be together, I would let you be. Like, yeah, you might say that. In a perfect world, you might say that. But and you might even really say that, but it's like, have compassion for all ends. And sometimes it's like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's like God is going to do what they're going to do, or the universe, whatever you believe in. So if it's meant for me and this person to be together in this lifetime, if this is in fact the person that is ordained for me in this life, this is my journey, my life journey partner, then they will leave that situation when it's time. I don't got to implant myself into this, or I'm not going to force them into seeing this or trying to get them to believe in this. I'm not going to spring it or sing it onto the mountaintops that I'm a twin flame and I'm a soulmate or whatever, and you're my divine partner. Try to get you to convince it, because what's real doesn't need to be spoken of so much. It doesn't need to be shouted at the mountaintops. If you're a singer, you're a singer. You ain't got to go around telling everybody, hey, yo, I'm a singer. Unless you're trying to get on or whatever. That's different. But it's like, I know you're a singer. You sing really good. You're a singer. I see that's what you do. It's like, I'm a reader. And yeah, for certain reasons, I might need to go out into the world and say, yeah, I'm a reader and this is what I do. But it's like, on top of that, that's not all of who you are. It's just a label. It's just a title. It's an aspect of you. It's a part of your gift. It's not something that needs to be expressed. And they're just titles and labels at the end of the day, just like soulmate and twin flames and karmics are just titles and labels that we identify with. At the end of the day, they're not who we are in essence. So, unless it's a religion, unless, you're a religious person and that makes sense to you, but there is a third party connection here. And I'm speaking on that because that's the energy that's coming out very strongly. So the three modes can also represent the three aspects of yourself. And you got some pretty heavy hitter, powerful deities here. You got Ganesh and you got Lakshmi. So these are fortunes. These are good fortune energies. These are prosperity deities and gods and goddesses that don't necessarily mean that you have to be involved with these deities or ancestors or ascended masters or anything, but it represents the prosperity that is surrounding you as well. That's mainly what I pick up from this. And there's so many different blessings and gifts that you have that some of you guys may not see. And I feel like your ancestors are telling you, got to walk with those good qualities. The card good qualities is here, and it's like all these ancestors and ascended masters, and this one person is being crowned. It's actually a divine partnership too, if you can see them. These two sitting right here, they're being crowned by this. It's like a god or a guru or something. Could be an ancestor, spirit guide. Your good qualities, you're a light being. Even if you've done some things that you're not proud of, you know, this isn't to bash anybody. It's not to make anybody feel some type of way. Um, it has nothing to do with that. But it's just calling out the aspects of us that do not serve us and destroying those things. Like, you know, I might come across as harsh sometimes, but, you know, sometimes. Like, I can be soft and sweet sometimes, but sometimes I feel like that's a watered down version of me because the real part of me, like, loves, I want my daughter to slack off and be bullshitting around, like, to be honest. So it's only right that if I see something, I'm going to call it out of love. Like, it's better than being in ignorance, right? Just because I don't want to lose subscribers or... And sometimes, yeah, that does, you know, bother people. Does. Like, why wouldn't it? Like, our human selves are like, did I do something wrong? Is my message wrong? But then when you look at the flip side, it's like, it's not meant for everybody. And some people may not resonate with it, and that's cool. Some people may get offended. That's cool, too. They're general readings anyway, but of course there's truth in them, and it's not everybody's truth. That's what I have to remember. It's not about gaining subscribers and tons of views. Like, that's cool because it makes, you know, your ego gets stroked and you feel like, oh, okay, I got it, or I'm doing something. And sometimes it could just make you feel rewarded, like I'm reaching people. But not everybody that you're reaching is here to really get that message. Sometimes it's just entertainment for some people. Sometimes it's just to appease the ego at the time. It's not always meant to, you know, bring clarity or, you know, help and assist as a messenger. It's not always about that for everybody. Just like for everybody, it's not all fun and games when they watch these readings. They're really seeking truth. So I would hope that God, and I know that I can't even say I hope. I know that God is using me as a vessel for those who need to hear this message, for this to be enlightening and helpful, even if it comes through as triggering and maybe hard to hear. Um, and maybe even warm and gives you some reassurance and happiness and joy. And I hope that it brings all of that. If it's meant to help you on the path that you're meant to go in life, I hope that I can assist with that. You know, if it's meant for you to take something from this message and this reading. Because at the end of the day, you know, these cards are just, you know, tools. And it's really the messenger, and it's also really the divine spirit that's speaking. It's not really even me so much. Sometimes I will insert myself into a reading like I'm doing right now to, like, explain things and, like, use certain things as an example as to what I'm picking up in the energies, you know, just to kind of bring it to earth a little bit, still keep it practical. But you guys have good qualities about you, even in those things that you may not like or you might feel guilty about. Because, like, confessional time, when I was all caught up in this twin flame stuff and I had to stop myself and be like, this is, like, kind of obsessive. Like, I'm over here, like, trying to convince this dude of something, and I'm going to readers and I'm getting all these messages and I'm like taking it and running with it, and like I'm kind of losing it a little bit. Like I'm losing my self dignity a little bit. Like, and it's not to say that it wasn't helpful, because it taught me to be fearless and express myself. So I can't blame anybody else, and I can't blame myself too much either. It's kind of, it is what it is. It needed to happen. So I needed to say what I needed to say and tell them and act in a way that I needed to act. Um, for the simple fact that it taught me valuable lessons. It taught me how to love and respect myself. It also taught me how to be okay with expressing my feelings with people. It also taught me to respect other people's boundaries as well. That's a big thing too that I learned. Like it gets to a certain point where if another person doesn't feel the same about you, it is what it is. And rejection is one of my biggest lessons in life too. Like that's one of the biggest lessons. Um, that I had to learn. And I think that's why a lot of times I dealt with certain friendships and relationships, because I was afraid of being rejected, and I did not want to reject other people because I know what it felt like. But as I started to respect myself more and my boundaries, if I didn't like something, if I wasn't feeling somebody, if I needed to stand up for myself, I did it. Whereas I used to not do that because I didn't want people to think I was a bad person. I didn't want people to get mad at me. I didn't want people to not like me. Like I was that person. So it's still, something I work with every now and then. Like when I do my readings, I'm like, I gotta separate myself out of this. Like this has nothing to do with me. Like I might say some shit people don't want to hear or don't like, and I might not get thousands and thousands of views and thousands of subscribers and people praising me like, oh my god, that reading resonated. Oh my god. Like it's not always like that, because you get good and bad reviews. That's life. Like a restaurant gets good and bad reviews, and it could be one person that thinks it's the best restaurant. It could be a couple of people that think the restaurant was nasty as hell. But it is what it is, and these connections, regardless of what they are, and that's why I've learned it's not um, healthy to hang on to labels and titles in the person either, because we just, at the end of the day, the connection serves its purpose. It is what it is. However long it serves its purpose, if this person is for you, if they're not, what you take from it and what you experience is what counts the most. And even with just certain friendships and things, and you have to enjoy what it is at that time, because all you have is right there, then and there. That's all you have. And to regret telling somebody you love them because it didn't end up the way that you wanted it to, or this person didn't reciprocate, or this person has someone else, and to hold on to that is to hold yourself back. And that's another thing that I've learned, that it makes you miss out on a lot of things. It makes you resent yourself. It makes you resent people. And it kind of gives you a warped perception of love and relationships. And it doesn't allow you to be free and live your life. And to see that it's okay to love people that don't love you back. And that doesn't mean that you disrespect the person's boundaries. It just means, I got love for you and I respect you and your journey and your decisions, and I'm going to keep it moving and live my journey. Because if it's true love, and I said this in a few readings before, it sticks with me. It's in me. It's in my heart to say that if it's true love, whether this be your best friend in the world, your mother that abandoned you, um, a parent that abused you, or an ex that cheated on you, did you so grimy, or a friend that backstabbed you, or you outgrew each other. If the love was true, you will love that person still. Like, I went through that. Yes, it hurt. And I've outgrown that connection. I respect it for what it was, but there's no animosity. Like, things had to happen the way that it happened, and I didn't agree with it, and I may not have liked it, but I still have love for you. It is what it is. And you keep it moving. And that's how life is. If it's like, if you believe in Jesus and all of this, like God is a forgiving God and the universe loves you and you're perfect, then why would you, because we do shitty things, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, what is sin really? Like, we can judge the next person for doing this, for drinking, for having sex before marriage, or being gay. We can judge people for all these so-called sins, but at the end of the day, aren't we all sinning, right? Or quote unquote sin. We're all sinning. So it's like with these types of situations too, where it may not pan out how you wanted to at the time. This person may not be calling you back. This person may be with somebody else. This person may um, have blocked you and all of that stuff. So whether we want to say, oh, my divine partner's running, or this is karmic, or this is a false twin, or whatever you want to put it on it. If you truly love the person, it's like the love is not lost, and you can still love that person and keep your life going and moving. That the love will never be lost, because if it was true, it will never die. And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm always be in love with him. I'm always love him. It doesn't have to be that. It just means I genuinely care about this person. And that also includes I want this person to be happy, whatever they choose in life, to be happy with, being single, or being happy with someone else, or being happy, as an artist, or whatever they decide to do in life. I respect this person for that, because you would want the same, I hope, you would want the same for yourself, for people to wish you well and to love you regardless of what you've done. And sometimes it doesn't even matter at the grand scheme of things. Like, you can love me or hate me. I'm not gonna, that's the thing. Like, I'm not attached to this. And that's hard for some people. You can't, it's hard to be attached. It's hard. But I guess this is a time to boost your ego a little bit and tell you how great you are, because you are. You guys, you have all of these great things about you. You have good qualities and great souls. So this is you. There's so many of you that have so many potentials and gifts and things to share with the world, and things that you're meant to accomplish, that your soul wishes to experience and accomplish and do and be, in your ancestors, root for you, and they want to see you live out these things. Um, and I just feel that a lot of you guys are unawakened to that. And some of you guys are still trying to figure that out. Some of you guys know that there's something that you're meant to do, but you're just trying to figure it out. That's cool. I'm still trying to figure everything out. Like, I don't know everything. And that's a part of the journey of life. We don't know everything. And that's cool. We might think we know everything right now, but then Spirit hits us with the next step and we're like, I really don't know nothing. I thought I did, but I don't. But at the end of the day, it's more so of, what about me? Like, what is it about me that I'm here for? And what am I meant to embrace in life? And even if you feel like you don't know, or you question whether you have a purpose or you have anything, it's like, this is the time to discover it, because many of you are blessed to maybe already be sharing your gifts and living out those purposes and gifts and things like that. And it's like, keep going. You can't afford to hold yourself back because of what it looks like right now. Because that's the funny thing. Like, and I'm a hopeless romantic at the end of the day, so I always think of like these movies where there's like this big blowout between lovers in the middle of the movie, and then at the end, like they're living their life. It's kind of like Love Jones. It's one of my favorite love movies. And they break up. It's like a misconnection at the time. They break up, they go their separate ways, but then something like serendipitous brings it back together. Like, they meet up again, and it's like the end. They come together. It's like, and that's not every story in life, but it's like, they didn't stop their life. Of course, they might have held that love in their heart for that other person, because if the love was true, like I said, it's gonna be there. Even if you move on in life and you fall in love with the next person, you can still go back and say, I did care about that person. I hope that they're doing well. That's love. But they didn't stop their life for each other. They didn't pine after and cry over each other. I'm sure they kept each other in their minds, but she was doing her thing and he was doing his thing with his book, and she was like shooting for magazines and stuff like that. And they came back together. So it's like, you guys have things y'all gotta do. Y'all have things that y'all gotta do, and it's like that hope of knowing that, God, if this man and this woman is meant for me, we're meant to work it out, or we're meant to come back together. If you are not with somebody, or if you're completely single, knowing that it's okay that I can live now, because y'all got work. I feel like y'all got things that y'all got to do. You have things that you need to share. There's so much abundance in the universe. I'm not just speaking of money and fame and fortune and riches and success. I'm talking about living your life and having some rich experiences in life. Like, it's so much out there. And regardless if you're 30, if you're 40, if you're 50, you still got that time to live that life that's out there for you. And I feel that in my heart, just the way that this little lamb is looking up at this woman. It's like some of you guys have musical gifts that can really touch people. I feel it in my heart. Like, y'all really have some beautiful gifts. And if you stuck around this long, you see how when you go through, I know it's like spirit always does that. Like, sometimes my readings start off really like shadowy and like cloudy, like, oh shit, like, shut up, I don't want to hear this, dumb bitch, I don't want to hear about this, I don't want to heal this, I'm tired of hearing about work, and I'm tired of hearing about what I gotta heal, and I'm tired of hearing about that, I'm tired of hearing you fucking ramble. But then it's like, if you hang on to the ride, it's like you get to that out of the storm, then it's like this light at the end of the tunnel. And that's like what spirit uses me for. And I'm so grateful because I'm starting to see that. Because I used to beat myself up and be like, why is my readings always gotta be like this? Like, why is it always gotta be shadow work and like this stuff like this? Like, why is it always gotta be like that? Why can't it be he wants to come back to you and suck your toes and give you the business? And why can't it be like that? But then it's like it gets to this point and I see why, and it's like the light at the end of the tunnel message. That's really what it is. Like, you got to go through the shadows in order to find the light, and I'm seeing that in this now, and it's really a blessing for some of you guys that you guys have something you need to share, and it's gonna touch a lot of people. And if you're holding yourself back and allowing what people have done and said to you, or what people might think to hold you back, the what ifs and the things that you tell yourself that you're not worthy, and you'll never be able to see that for yourself. It's just going through that process of the unknown that really, really counts and really, really matters, because that's where all the goodness is. Like, we're not meant to know everything. Me as a reader, I can't tell you the ins and the outs and the outcomes of everything. This is a personal journey. You gotta apply it for yourself. That's one thing I'm learning. Like, I can take things from different teachers and people around me that have done this before, but at the end of the day, I gotta spread my own wings and go on my own path and my own journey and experience life for me. Period. And whoever my counterpart is, if it be that that's my destiny, that's my fate to have that, I hope that this person also is like doing them and living their journey and, you know, doing them for them and living out their purpose and their hopes and dreams, whether that be they, you know, they just sit around and paint milk cartons for a living and they enjoy really doing that and that's what they do. Like, who knows, like, whatever. But okay, so you have the hope card, which is the star card. So this represents, I feel like for some of you, that doubt of hope, like you're not really seeing how things are going to plan out for you, especially with the beginning card, which is the Fool card, and the completion card, which is the World. So you have the last major arcana card and the first major arcana card in the deck. It starts the ending and the beginning, which is crazy. Like, when that combination comes out, it's like there's a chapter ending, but there's also a guarantee of a new cycle beginning. But some of you guys are not really understanding this process, or you're not sure how this is going to happen or when or what you need to do. So it's like stepping into that Fool-like energy is like to step into your inner child, where you don't worry about when your diaper is going to get changed, when is mommy going to breastfeed you, what clothes am I going to wear in the morning for school. Like, you just trust that as a child, as a baby, that really has to be dependent upon that higher, you know, that guardian. When you trust in the universe, God, your angels, your ancestors, whatever you put your hope and faith into, that being, whether that be the higher consciousness of you, you're not worried about the when's, the where's, and the how. So you just know that I'm going to be provided for, and I trust that when they say it's time to eat, I know when to get up and where to go get and sit down and eat. When it's time for me to get up for school, I trust that they're going to tell me when it's time to get up and get dressed for school. You're not worried about that. Like, that the steps and the way that you're meant to do it, it's all going to come. And it's also, another metaphor as a child, when you start getting certain responsibilities, that when you go to school, you gotta, take out your big bag, you gotta take out your pencil, take out your journal, prepare to listen to the teacher and pay attention to what you need to learn, what you need to do, what steps you need to take. That's kind of how you have to see this, and that could be the challenge for some of you, or maybe I just gave you help with how to do that. But the approach is the World card. It's time to close out. There's still some things that still need to be closed out, but it's also like, take this time out to look at your success in the past. Like, look at all that you've overcome. Look at everything that you've went through, everything that you've mastered, everything that you wanted that did manifest, the times that you didn't think that you could overcome something or didn't think that something was going to be provided for. Spirit went out of their way and made it happen. Those are the things that you might need to think about and remember and congratulate yourself and see how much you've actually grown too, how much you've actually changed. And then speaking of change, you have the change card, which is the Tower card in this deck. And this represents your focus. And your focus is on the things that are coming down. Look at it as from a perspective of why it may be of your highest good that certain things are being stripped away or being removed, or things that need to change. Start to look at it from that perspective. And these are usually things that may come in unpleasant forms, like a loss of a job or loss of a house, and you look back at it and you're like, I didn't really like that area anyway. I wanted to move into a better area. Or this job really sucked in the first place and I wanted to really, start my own business. Like, there's always something you can take out of the Tower moment that's positive and make it work for you. But the biggest thing is it's change and restructure and rebuilding that matters the most, whatever that may mean for you specifically. Then you have the Hierophant card, which is the art card in this deck. So the conclusion is, for some of you guys, this is creating and building your own beliefs too. Because the Hierophant represents traditions, morals, religion, but this is coming up with what you truly believe to be true for yourself, especially when it comes to love. Like, I've gone through all of these types of relationships. I've been with this type of person, the times that I may have had hope and then I lost it. And I can start to see the change in the type of partnerships I'm wanting, the type of partners I want. Like, I'm looking for different qualities. Like, it's not all about, oh, he's fine, or all the little stupid stuff that I used to be into. It's kind of like these things, it changes. Okay, are they, a good partner? Do they really honor themselves? Do they really love themselves? Do they know who they are? Do they know what they want in life? Would they be respectful of me? Are they good with kids? All these different things. You start to think about that more than what kind of car they drive and where they work and if they fine and how many women they slept with. Like, you stop thinking about stuff, and it could be different. Your morals could be different for everyone else. But it's just kind of like creating your own ideas and rules of what true love represents for you and what type of partnership. Like, you start to create these boundaries, because as you create your life, you're also creating your love life. You're creating this new energy, this new beginning. That's what you're doing. You're putting energy into. Some of you guys do need to show gratitude to God, show gratitude for living, show gratitude for the things that are working well, show gratitude even in the time of struggles and pain. That's something that I had to do too, because I was like, one day I felt like I was dying, like, oh my God, and I was like, thank you, God, because I know I'm releasing right now. Like, this is painful, but I know I'm releasing, and I thank you, Most High God, my angels, my ancestors, whoever's helping me through this period. I thank you during this time. because I know that I'm going through this because I'm releasing it. And but just showing gratitude, period. Some of you guys may need, you know, if you guys have altars set up, ancestral altars or whatever, maybe showing gratitude to your ancestors and giving them offerings. um it could also just be, like I said, affirming that you're grateful and thankful for what you're creating or what you have in the now and what you've experienced in the past, because it's shaping your future, and it's a totally new ball game right now. That's really what this is. This is a long freaking reading, and I'm sorry. But if it's helpful, it's helpful. So you got the Hierophant, and you got the Ace, or actually, sorry, this is the Magician. Sorry, the Magician and the Hierophant. So yeah, this, you got the Hierophant twice in two different decks. So you hold the key to this new energy that you're creating, that you're manifesting. The rules of what you were taught and what was told to you, you're now having to get that directly from the source within you, and what is a part of you and what you stand for and what you believe. You're starting to create that, specifically, mainly in love. That this is like, I'm creating my own love story. It's not about what my mama and them did, what grandma and them did, what the TV tells us it's gotta be, you know, what soulmates and twin flames, all this other stuff. Is kind of like, we take what is true to us in depth and realness, and we apply those things. And it could be taking bits and pieces of, oh, grandma and grandpa, I love the way that they did this. Okay, I want that in my relationship. Okay, the twin flame thing, like, I do want someone that I can live out my purpose with. I'll take that. I'll take from karmic relationships, learning lessons. I'll take that part of the karmic partner aspect. I'll take, you know, the TV with the little romantic little blah blah blah. I'll take the little romantic little stuff, and I'll take that. I'll take this. Or I'm going to come up and formulate my own idea of what love is. So it's like, it's your unique journey. You're creating your own rules, and with this, because you're leaving a template. That's the thing. Like, for so long we've been taught that this is what love is, and looking at it, by looking at this stuff, it's not working for everybody. Like, divorce rates, and some people don't believe in marriage. That's cool. Some people believe in sacred unions and marriages, but maybe not in that light that we've been taught. Some people don't believe that there's one person. So it's kind of like, you got to find what resonates with you and create that, because there's a person, I'm telling you, there's somebody out there that's like, I vibe with you, because you're creating that energy. It's not just, it's kind of like a person that makes tacos, right? They make tacos and they're really good. They make some bomb Mexican food. I love food, so I always gotta use food as an example, you know. So I love making tacos. I love Mexican food, but I don't have a business to open. And there's a person that's like, I got a space open and it's perfect for a restaurant. And I'm open to whatever type of food, you know, depending on the area. You know, this would be a really good spot to have like a grill or a bar or maybe a Mexican spot. And it's like, oh, I found somebody that I can rent a space from. So it's like, you have something that you're creating. There's someone that will complement that, because their desires align in a way. It may not be completely mirrored desires, but it aligns. It works for you. You know, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to work and blah, blah, blah. And the man is like, I want a wife that, you know, takes care of kids and is really good with the home and the house, and she's a good cook, you know, whatever. And it works for them because they kind of share the same desires, right? So that's how you got to see your desire of relationship. Know that there's somebody out there. Like, it exists. They exist. You exist. That union, you're not manifesting this desire for this type of partnership, this dream template that you have for nothing, because there is someone that does match that for you. Whether it's who you want it to be, who you hope it to be, who you think it is, who you perceived it is, who you've been told it is, whatever your stance is, the person that is ordained for you at the end of the day, that you share the same vibrational energy with, or complementary vibrational energy with, they exist, they out there, and it's going to happen. And that's why Spirit is saying it's very important that you shape what resonates with you, because something has not been working by trying to follow what everybody else tells you need to follow. Your template is, this is how it works, separation, and then you come back together. And like, who wants to deal with that? Or to get off the twin flame subject, because some of you guys are like, oh my god, like, stop, it's everything, like, stop. Like, mom and dad, they got married at 25, and you're just like, I want to live my life, like, I'm not ready to get married at 25, like, I still want to travel. And then, but if that's what God has for you, then of course. But it's kind of like, leave all of the details out a little bit. Like, say, God, I want this. If something is good, if it's better, because sometimes we be asking for certain things and it's much better than what we wanted. Like, that's happened before too. Like, I've asked for certain, like, I'm not speaking of love and partnerships, but like things in the, like, just everyday things that I was looking for one thing, and then I end up finding something else. I'm like, okay, I'd rather have that. That's gonna look better on me, or that's gonna fit better, or it's just cuter. I didn't think that, because I wasn't thinking about that color, but okay, that works. I like it. It looks better on me. I had this in mind, but that, is a reason why I couldn't find it, or why something just didn't go with that. So I did come across something better. Thank you, God. So that's kind of how you have to see love and relationships. Like, you may want Tyrone, or you may want Keisha. I don't know where that came from. You may want them, but it's just like, then you come across, I don't know, what's a good name? I don't know. Kenny. I don't know. You come across this person and you're just like, oh, okay, hey, Kenny, or hey, Ashley, what's up? What's good? Like, okay, I didn't know, but that's what I'd be into, or that would work for me. But here you are. Like, I thought I was stuck on Tyrone, and I was stuck on Keisha, but hey, and it just works. So that's kind of how you have to see things. So keep your dreams, hold them to value, but just be open that if it's not that, something is going to come along that's going to over exceed your expectations and your wildest dreams and your imagination. So I hope that this message and reading resonated. It was a long ass reading. I was not expecting this. But sometimes how it works, spirit gets it like working through you, and it's just like, okay, here you go. So if you guys would like a personal reading with me, much love as always. Check the description box below for readings. If you guys have questions about my readings or availabilities, please email me at one of my Gmail accounts. I would prefer that rather than directly on my website, like the chat thingy or whatever, and my DMs and stuff. Like, I don't really check DMs, so it's best that you guys email me directly. And as always, I send much love to you. If you guys would like, I'm doing $5 one question readings on Friday. Submissions open up Thursday. So if you guys would like a one question $5 reading, you guys can purchase however many questions you would like, $5 per question via PayPal or Cash App, which will also be in the description box below. Just leave your question in the note section if there's enough room. I will keep the live up even after the live, so you can go back and watch it, and I will leave names and then timestamps next to the names so you guys can directly just go to your reading. And yeah, much love as always. Peace.